Hello everyone, Paul Long here in the video series How to Buy a Business Using an SBA Loan. And in this video, we're going to talk about the application process. If you ask anyone who's done an SBA loan in, say, the past 15, 20 years, they said, oh, the paperwork. It's actually not that bad. The SBA has done a phenomenal job of streamlining paperwork and trying to make things a lot easier. So it is a lot easier than it was 15 to 20 years ago, trust me. The first thing that we're going to want to do when it comes to the paperwork is we're going to want to pre-flight the credit. We're going to want to take a look at, on a business acquisition, we're going to want to take a look at the 3 years tax returns. We're going to want to see a personal financial statement for yourself or for any guarantor. We're going to want to see the business financials, tax returns, internal profit and loss, balance sheet. We're going to want to see an asset list. We're going to want to understand the business. Once we do that, we're going to run the numbers, and usually within 24 hours, we can say, I think there's a deal here, or maybe there is, but we need to see X, Y, Z. So that's why we do a pre-flight, because the worst thing that could possibly happen on any loan request is you go out through a long drawn out process for a no. It's the worst thing ever, and I vow in my career to never do that to somebody. So pre-flighting a credit is how we get through that. Then there's secondary documents. So once you've completed that pre-flight, we think there's a deal there, then we're going to introduce you to the SBA forms, which is really mainly a 1919 form, which I do have videos on how to fill that out on my website, paultlong.com, as well as there are some other SBA forms to fill out. It's not too much work in order to do that. Then we do a business valuation and or a real estate valuation, whether we're using additional collateral or you are buying the real estate that's a part of the business. Those appraisals can take anywhere from 3, 4, sometimes 5 weeks, depending on how busy the world is. That is definitely a very important piece because we want to make sure that we understand what the actual value of the business is. I'm sure you would too, as well as the real estate that we're taking as collateral, what's its true value there. And then we end up going to underwriting, and that's where an underwriter goes through and kind of really starts asking questions. And those are usually asked by them. It goes to the lender, and we're going to reach out to you and ask those questions and try to clarify that. And then we go in for approval. Approvals are anywhere from a certain individual or up to a loan committee, or sometimes a board of directors for an institution. So it all depends on what that institution has set up. Then we go into loan documents. Takes about 3 to 5 days to get loan documents for the most part. We want to make sure that they're right, they're correct, they're accurate. And then we schedule closing through your escrow, your law firm for that business acquisition. So it's always safe to say 45 is the minimum days for a transaction. And then in a perfect world, we'd like to see 75, but really 60 days is ideal for a transaction. Every institution's going to be different, but again, since for the most part a preferred lending provider or delegated lender, make sure that your lender is one of those because they can process quicker, because if you're not, it could be longer than 60 to 75 days. If you have an SBA Express for a business acquisition, which I've done in the past as well, those can take 3 to 4 weeks. It depends on a lot of the situation for those, but if they're fairly simple, it could be fairly quick. Hopefully you're enjoying this series, How to Buy a Business Using an SBA Loan, and make sure to check out the other videos at paultlong.com and see you on the next video.